Hey, HCDA, and welcome back to another episode of No Man's Sky. I am having way too much fun with this game to quit playing, so I'll have to deal with it. And this time around, even though I just got into a new galaxy and I'm really itching to explore that, we also just got a new expedition popping up. Or well, it was a couple of days ago, but I was busy doing the main quest. So let me check this out. What is this all about? It's a redux, so as I understand this is something that is rerun every now and then. So wait, hold on. Is this the Normandy? I mean, it says Normandy right there. Are we going to be able to get our Mass Effect ship? I mean, then I'm almost... Well, I definitely want to start playing this now because I really want the Normandy. I'm a huge fan of Mass Effect, having played all those games several times. So, what do we need to do? Well, we just go on another mission, I suppose, where we get to bring some stuff. I'm gonna try and be a little bit smarter this time around about what I bring. Okay, so how about this? I brought a whole bunch of basic materials with me just because I can. I already had them in my inventory. I also de-equipped my mining laser, my advanced mining laser I should say, and my optical drill, because both of those things seem to be extremely useful, so you know, I figured I might as well bring them along. I also brought a random pulse engine module that I don't intend to use, mostly to test out if I can sell this at the other side, because if I haven't actually installed it yet, it is worth quite a few nanites, so I don't know, it's worth testing. I'm not entirely sure what else to bring, because I do think that, generally speaking, the questline will give you most of the rewards you need anyway. So this is probably going to make my life a lot easier than it was the first time around. And if not, well, we'll just have to deal with it. Well, there we go. Let's initialize once more.
Commencing freighter control system initialization.
Oh, this is new.
Emergency damage. Recovery system engaged. Backup power generators online. Atmosphere and life support modules stabilized.
Are we on board of a freighter?
Hyperdrive propulsion damaged. Repair required. Capital ship remote monitoring activated. Handing command to bridge crew. Welcome, Captain.
Oh, thank you. Okay, yeah, we are on board of a freighter. This is interesting. So let me check out what we're supposed to do in this particular expedition. Okay, so let's see. We have all hands on deck. We're going to repair the freighter. We're going to set foot on land, discover some creatures. All of this seems pretty straightforward. Use a freighter to warp to a new system. That seems like an inefficient way of doing things, but okay. Construct a storage room. Okay, so this is the freighter expedition, I guess. Then the next one, we are going to construct a scanner room. Ah, okay, so we're going to do all kinds of things with a freighter. That is actually kind of cool. Then we are... Oh, hold on, let me check. What are we actually getting? We are getting a reality glitch trail, okay. We're going to get a wayward cube plan. Then we're going to pilot the ship for 1,000 units. I think that's not as far as it seems, but anyway, we'll find out, I guess. We're going to destroy a whole bunch of asteroids, complete fleet expeditions. Okay, that's all kind of nice, actually. We're going to get a fleet commander's cape customization. That's kind of cool. We're going to learn some words. We're going to discover some ruins. We're going to dig up some stuff. Okay, that all seems... Oh, we're going to earn a whole lot of nanites, apparently. And then we're going to get a golden first spawn battle mask. Interesting. Then we're going to do stuff that we don't know yet, but that's okay. Then we're going to get some decals, which I don't particularly care about. But then I assume near the end, we are going to get the Normandy. Okay then. Well, we have our work cut out for us. First things first, let's go and repair some critical freighter systems. Before I do that, let's see what we have to work with. So we have a jetpack, some life support, some basic stuff. Okay, we have an unlicensed catalyst tank. Wow, okay, this gives me a huge boost to my jetpack, so that's really nice. We have a personal refiner once more, that's really nice as well. And a decent amount of cargo space. Okay. Now let's see, we have a starship as well. This thing is so ugly. Anyway, we have a pulse engine, sublight amplifier, a cadmium starship trail. That's kind of cool. Anyway, we have a rocket launch, some basic stuff, and some tritium, so nothing too interesting. We do have a scanner. We have a booster for what? The mining beam? Okay. That's kind of cool. We have an advisor. We have... Oh, we actually do already have an advanced mining laser this time around. So I didn't have to bring that, but okay, better safe than sorry. But what we actually do need to do... Oh, there's all kinds of stuff in our inventory, apparently. We have to repair the atmospheric control units. We have to repair the matter beam as well, I assume at least. And we are going to need to repair the hyperdrive. For all of this, we need some antimatter, we need some magnetic resonators, and we need some wiring loom, which we, as far as I know, can only buy. So let's go and do that. Before I do that, I'm actually wondering, do I get a fleet to go with this ship? Well, it's not really a fleet, but we do actually get a single ship. Oh man, this ship is so ugly, but yeah, we'll have to do with it. We are going to find ourselves a space station and buy some wiring loom. Luckily, there's a space station right in front of our freighter, apparently, so that makes things easy. So, along with that, can we actually already summon the anomaly? We can't, by the looks of it. Huh, that's interesting. Wonder what we'll have to do in order for the anomaly to be triggered. Right, I forgot that we actually need money in order to buy wiring looms. Okay. Hold on a minute, am I an idiot? I do have a repair kit in here, so can I just use the repair kits? Yeah, instead of the wiring loom. There we go. And we already have the gold and the chromatic metal. Is that just going to complete the first step of the milestone? Okay. That probably took me way longer to figure out than it should have, but at least I didn't go around mining stuff to buy myself a wiring loom. Okay, so let's go to the expedition log. Let's get the first reward. There we go. So we get some antimatter, starship launch fuel, and repair kits. 2 more of them. I have repair kits. I should remember that. I haven't actually been using those in my main playthrough. So the next step is to set foot upon a planet. And then what? Set a foot upon land, discover some creatures, we can do that. And then we are going to construct an orbital exocraft materializer, which is a thing for our freighter, right? So how do we do that? It's not on here yet, I don't think. We can build something, but I don't have the materials for that. Is it a... Hold on. It's a... What do you call that? A room, right? So let's see. If I warp over here... What do we have to work... Oh, look at that. Oh man, I should have brought my gauntlets. I actually thought about that and then I didn't do it. Crap. Anyway, we have some plants. What's this? Hello? What are you? I actually don't know what this is. I can't interact with it. That's weird. Hold on. This is an octa cabinet. Okay. I guess that's a thing we can... that we have. Let's see. So what were we building? Something I don't have yet, so that's probably going to be unlocked in one of those steps. I should probably just start doing the quests and then focus on that, but I was just curious to see what I already have to work with. This room is kind of curious that that's already there, but anyway. Yeah, so let's go back down to a planet. Now let's see. Do we have multiple planets here? We do. So we have quite a few planets actually. We have a planet with ancient bones, salvageable scrap, ancient bones, scorched planet. This is a toxic planet, this is a barren planet. We could go to the salvageable scrap planet. That might give us some additional money to work with. Or, well, actually, thinking about that. And we should probably go to a planet with some ancient bones. This is a toxic planet. This is a abandoned planet. It sounds a little bit more welcoming. Mostly because those ancient bones tend to sell really well, so at least we have some seeding money in case we need it. Well, I guess this is as good a place as any, and that should complete the next milestone that we have. We have set foot on a planet. I also think we need to discover a whole bunch of plants, right? Wasn't that the thing we needed to do? Plants? Creatures? I don't remember. Let's see, let's just scan a couple of things. There's plenty of that stuff around. Oh, I forgot what pitiful amount of money we got from all of that. Okay, so there's some more flying up in the air. There we go. Oh, there's one more that we don't have yet. There we go, we surveyed a planet. There we go. And that all in like 5 seconds. There we go. Oh, there's more. There's more. I'm actually wondering if we need to find all the species on the planet. We have 6 out of 8 now. That took like 3 minutes. Can we find the others? Do we need to find the others? That's probably the better question to ask. Okay. Let's check out what we have to work with so far. Okay. Expedition. We set foot on land, so we have that. So we're going to get a signal booster, surge battery ×3, and Minotaur Geobay. Okay, that's gonna be cool because I haven't actually played around with that just yet. So that is one down. And then I also think we got the next one. Oh, we actually got an achievement for owning an exomech. Because I haven't actually done it, like I said. Okay, back to the surveys though, or the milestones, I mean. So we discovered 3 creatures. That was the one we needed to do. We get an orbital exocraft materializer plan. So that's the thingy we can build on the freighter that I think everyone in the comments was telling me about in the episode where I made my fleet. We also get some oxygen. We get a banned hazard reduction. Okay, some powerful mining beam upgrades. So some quality of life stuff, sure. Then, okay, so we need gold for that, ionized cobalt, and some warp cells. We'll work on that in a moment, but what else do we need to do? So we actually need to make that orbital exocraft materializer. And then we use that to, well, we use the freighter to warp to a new system. And then we're going to construct a storage room as well. And that's about it. So, okay, that should get us going pretty nicely. Now, the real question is, what do I get that I really want to use? Because I could just not sell this stuff and keep it in my inventory and then sell it for a whole lot of nanites later on. Okay, so let's see. In order to make that orbital exocraft materializer, we're going to need gold, ionized cobalt, and some warp cells. In order to build all of that, let me refresh my memory. We need some chromatic metal, we need some condensed carbon in order to make antimatter. What we need for the housing, we need some ferrite dust and oxygen. So basically we just need a whole bunch of random stuff. And, well, that's a good excuse to try out my Minotaur, I guess. So let's see. We can't summon it just yet because we need to build this one, the exocraft summoning station. So construction allows the user to summon any owned exocraft from anywhere else in that system. Okay. So as long as there's exocraft anywhere in that system, is that how that works? That's interesting. Okay. We also have the Minotaur Geobay, and we have the Nomad Geobay. What's the Nomad? That's not the Roamer that I had before, that's just a different thing. Well, anyway, let's build a Minotaur thingy. There we go. Let me make sure I also... Hold on. Delete that thing? I've been getting better at this. There we go. Hello? Oh, hold on. I was still in the menu. There we go. Oh wow, this thing is slow. Can you run? No, you can't. Okay. Let me check this thing out. So, we have the Daedalus engine, which is just its thing. We have a thruster system. Let's see if we can boost that. Not sure if that does anything. And then we have environmental control. Oh, renders the Minotaur pilot impervious to all environmental hazards. So I guess we don't... Well, that's just as good as it's gonna get. It already does protect me against everything. So we have a thruster, and we we can build some stuff though. A precision Minotaur laser. Oh, we need gravitino balls, solar mirrors for that. We don't have any of this stuff yet. So we can make this thing be able to mine. We can make this thing shoot. And we can make it have an AI. But until we get some more resources going, I don't think this is going to be particularly useful. Nope, I'm an idiot. I stand corrected because look at what I can do with this. Yay! That is definitely faster than just walking around by myself. I mean, it's a little bit... it's gonna take some getting used to, let's put it like that. But it is definitely a lot cooler than doing everything by hand. Now, let's see. What do we need? We need quite a few things actually. We need some gold. We can mine the gold up in the air, but we need some copper and stuff like that. So let's see. We have pyrite. There we go. Copper. Okay, apparently I wasn't paying attention because I just died. I think this is a new trend for me in my expeditions. Okay, so that's a fair bit of copper. I'm already using my personal refiner to transform that into some chromatic metal. So there we go. What else did we need? We needed some antimatter. What do we need again to make that? Let me refresh my memory. So yeah, chromatic metal and condensed carbon. Now we have plenty of carbon already, but let me go and mine some more just to be safe. And let's do some cobalt mining as well, because that's actually the only thing I don't already have in my ship. I have a lot of the other stuff. I actually have antimatter and things like that as well, but no cobalt to go around. So we're going to have to do some actual manual mining. Okay, at this point I have a whole bunch of materials on me, and let's see if I can now make the orbital exocraft materializer. The answer is yes. Now, where do we put that? I don't know. Here, I guess. I don't even know what this thing does. Wait, actually, I think this is the... Yeah, this is going to be the room that lets me summon my vehicles, I think, anywhere in the system where my freighter is. This is how that thing's work. Well, actually, let me read the thing, because that probably explains it. Construction allows the user to summon any owned exocraft while in the same system as their freighter. Yeah, and so exactly. So, that's going to be quite convenient, I suppose. And that also means we just completed the 4th part of the first milestone, or the first phase. So let's get that. This is going to allow me to make a teleport chamber. This is going to allow me to move quickly between their freighter, planetary bases, as well as any space station terminus. Okay. Oh, actually, I need this one on my actual freighter as well. Both of these rooms, actually. What else did we get? We also got something else, right? The refiner room. Okay. This is pretty straightforward. Allows 3 different substances. Okay, this is the best version of the refiner we can also build on a planet, so that's nice. I think we should have most of the stuff for this as well. And then we have the scanner room. Planetary scanner probes all celestial bodies in the local solar system. Scanned moons and planets are discovered. And sensors collect high-level data such as weather conditions and prominent resources. So that's actually going to be really useful as well. Okay, so... this was the one we just got, right? Yeah, I think so. So that means let's go back to this thing. What's the next thing? We are going to have to warp to a new system. Okay. We also need to construct a storage room. If we warp to another system, we're going to get a lot of silver, some salvaged frigate modules, warp hypercores, and hyperdrive plans. Okay, so we get hyperdrive plans after we'll already use the hyperdrive. Okay, anyway. And then last but not least, we need to get to a rendezvous. Okay, let me go build some more rooms. There's a storage room and a refinery room to go along with that, so we can easily craft stuff into new stuff if we need it. And here's a scanner room, which apparently also comes along with a milestone that I didn't see, probably from one of the later phases. So let me go and check that out. Yeah, this is actually a phase 2 reward already, so let's just pick that up. That's going to give us some starship inventory slots, supreme launch thrusters upgrade, yeah, so a whole bunch of upgrade and planetary charts. Actually, don't know what these are. So let me skip this and just check out the inventory. Can we decline on this so we can actually upgrade our own ship later on? Nah, it doesn't matter. Let's just upgrade the ship for now. There we go. That's a whole bunch of upgrades. And what's the planetary chart do? This is a coordinates of distress signal. Okay. Now, I actually wanted to make a teleport chamber as well, but I don't know how to make an amino chamber just yet. So maybe we'll get that later on in one of the quest lines. I didn't check yet. But for now, I think we built everything we... Well, actually, didn't build a fleet command room yet, so let's do that as well. And there we go. And now, actually, I kind of want to go and check out if we can send that single ship we have on a trip. Now, I don't think so, because we probably don't have fuel, do we? Nope. Nope, we do not have any fuel whatsoever, so let's just have to wait. Which I guess means there's nothing left to do in phase 1 other than just jump to a new system. Now, I actually don't know how to do that. Let me go and find that out. Well, the answer is at the freighter warp map, so that's pretty straightforward. However, there's a problem because my freighter actually doesn't currently have a functional hyperdrive. So I'm gonna need to make some antimatter housing and some antimatter to fix this. And while we're at it, what does this do? This is the matter beam, a device that modulates standard freighter communication systems to enable the interplanetary transport of matter. Freighters fitted with such a device can send and receive products and substances to an user's... So I can send stuff right to my freighter. So this is basically going to be a secondary cargo I have access to. That is super useful. But we're going to need some more advanced stuff in order to repair this. And in order to make all that antimatter, I can immediately start using my refiner over here. Now let's see, we need to put in some normal carbon. There we go. And then we're going to get some condensed carbon out. Super nice to have this thing right here in my freighter. Alright, there we go. Everything has been repaired. I also have a warp cell to throw into my freighter. So now I think I should be able to start warping this thing. Actually, I keep getting lost. I have never had so many things in my freighter. There we go. Let's go to the warp map and see where we need to go. Well, that's actually quite a few jumps. But we gotta start somewhere, and we do need to make at least the first jump from this ship, I think, or for it to actually count. And there we go. It's pretty much the same thing as just jumping with your normal ship, but this time around we're doing it with the freighter. Now, actually, I am wondering, could we also just do it with the ship and then call in the freighter? I think so, right? Well, anyway, we got the milestone complete, so let's go check that out. Oh, there we go. Freighter fleets. Owning a freighter brings several benefits, including a portable base, a very large inventory, and the ability to command fleets of frigates. Actually, yeah. Okay, so construct a base, command expeditions. We kind of know all this, I think. But, you know, I think we're going to get some more to do with this. Now we're going to get hyperdrive plants. Oh, these might actually be the hyperdrive for my ship. Fuel propulsion that allows Starship to attain... Yeah, okay, so this is going to allow my own ship to jump around. We're going to need some more metal and some microprocessors for that. We also can now make the warp hypercore. But we need storm crystals for that. Okay. And then we get some silver. And salvaged frigate modules. Actually, I wonder, am I supposed to do something with those frigate modules? It feels a bit weird to start upgrading this particular thing. I don't remember exactly. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. I kind of forgot where I can upgrade my ship. Was it with this guy? Nope. It was with this control over here. So let's see. If we start upgrading things, we can... Well, we should probably at least get the 50 core fuel thing unlocked. I don't think there's a real reason to start unlocking any of this other stuff. I actually don't know. I've never had so many things in my other playthrough, so I kind of want to keep most of these because they don't feel like they're easy to come by. What's this? A technology room? For expanding habitable space into... this doesn't sound particularly interesting. Appearance modifier, nope. We already have this one. We don't need any plant stuff. Stellar Attractor Room. Advanced integrated freighter equipment gathers resources directly from the interstellar medium via a complex system of suction intakes and... The gathered substance varies with the local star classification. So this is actually going to passively collect resources? Is that how I'm understanding that? Okay, I kind of want to try this out. I'm just going to buy this. Well, let's place it right next to the refiner. It kind of looks really cool. Huh. So, what are you making? Okay, so it runs on cycles, and it's going to collect 15 per hour. And it's processing a yellow class stellar material. Ah, so we're going to get all of this stuff. Nice. Oh, that was interesting. While I was walking around on the ship, I unlocked the Pilgrim milestone from phase 2 already, which just required me to walk around a little bit apparently, and this gave me a bunch of upgrades. Now, some of you recommended to me that I might want to save some of these upgrades that you get, rather than just equip them, save them, and sell them for nanites, so you can buy, for example, your own ship that you brought from your main save with you. So I kind of like that advice. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stock up all the upgrades I get, and then only use them once I feel like I actually need them, either in my exosuit or my ship or whatever. Anyway, still a whole bunch of jumps to go to the first rendezvous, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm actually just going to do it with my freighter itself, just to keep things simple. Okay, so I just had a pop-up for my command post, so let's see. We have one support frigate available. No frigate blueprints available. Downloads? Ah, okay, well that's one way of getting those frigate fuel thingies. That's interesting. So send a support frigate out on an expedition. Is that did we just get a quest for that? Like independent? Oh, okay, yeah, we actually did. That's interesting. Ah, okay. I actually didn't know that we had quests here as well. But we are instructed to start an expedition, so, you know, let's do that. I'm still on my way to jump to the rendezvous, by the way. But, I like this whole expedition system, so let's just get it started. Two potential expeditions, so... Ooh, these are all pretty difficult. Let's start with a quick one that is also not too hard. Just 1 star for an hour. What do we need? We need... It's balanced. Okay, so we need whatever we can get. Okay. I thought I had a support ship. This is a mining vessel. But anyway, let's go with that. And then we can launch the expedition. There we go. I have no idea if that will be a success, but you know, it is worth it. Now, where did I get the fuel? Oh, we actually got a little bit of fuel when we... Oh, that's interesting. Well, free stuff. I like it. Oh, as an aside note, I am super excited to see what will happen in 3 seconds from now. Oh, wow. We just got the one thing. I was expecting to get a little bit of everything. So it's just going to extract 15 per hour of something. I mean, I assume this actually keeps working while you're offline as well. So this is still definitely worth it. It just works a little bit different than I expected. Oh wow, I wasn't expecting to be the first one to actually discover a planet en route in the expedition. So you can see most of these planets were discovered by someone else already, because that's of course to be expected once you are going to do an expedition. But because I installed the scanner thing on my ship, I was actually able to discover this planet. Apparently no one else bothered with that, so let's log that in. That's kind of nice. And yeah, it's super easy to discover all the planets once you have this on your ship. I do have to say I'm completely skipping out on doing any space station exploration, upgrading my exosuit or anything like that. But, you know, let's try to stay on task. I mean, I say that after I just did like 8 things that were not related to the actual expedition. Speaking of which, why is my thing blinking again? I mean, I just launched the expedition minutes ago, so you're not done yet, I assume. Fleet Command online, yes. Calibrating to Fleet Commander Naflu. Okay. Greetings, Captain friends. Ah, okay, yeah, I know, you have about an hour to go. You can inspect your ship. Ah. Okay, so we don't actually have to do anything with that. I think we're about 1 jump away from the first rendezvous, so let's keep going. Alright, so we are actually in the system that we need to be in now, but the milestone hasn't triggered, so let me double check that. Why doesn't it trigger? We might actually have to go out in our own ship. Looks like where we actually need to be is on the planet, so let's go and get there. Alrighty, here we are, I think. So that should count, hopefully, towards the next milestone, and then we can get to figure out what we are going to do next. It is super cold here on this planet.
Thermal protection falling.
And we are in the middle of a storm. That's nice. So where do we need to go? Oh, we actually have a little bit to walk still. Now, before we do that, can I actually summon my exocraft? Do I have any exocraft? I do not own this. I do not own this. I own none of these. So I would actually have to make them first. Now, I did get... Hold on, where is it? An exocraft summoning station. So this is any owned one. Oh, but I can summon... Can I summon this one? Look! Look, we have one of those now. And can we summon the other one as well? I don't know if I have the stuff for this. I need some metal plating and gold. But I have, I think, most of that. But I kind of want to try out the Nomad, because I haven't tried that out whatsoever. Now, do I need to keep this... Let's try this out, because I actually don't know if I need to keep this up and running, or if I can just delete it again. Ew, this one is kind of nice. It's not very agile, but it is very very easy to go across things by the looks of it. It just hovers over stuff. Huh, interesting. Oh, I was just looting some random stuff while I was moving towards our target, and I got another milestone. We'll get to that in a moment, but first, I'm just gonna continue. Well, we found our target. So let's see, we are now at rendezvous 1. Can I... Oh, this is one of those portals. Interesting. I'm not really sure if I can do anything with that, but we are going to get some rewards. So let me go and pick those up. Wrong menu, as always. Let's see. So we collected all of this. There we go. Can we just... Can we just leave? Actually, I don't know if that worked. So let me see. We got 1000 nanites and some quicksilver as well, so that's nice. But what I'm really curious about is whether or not by refusing these upgrades, did I get... Yeah, there we go. We get exosuit expansion units, so we can always keep those in our inventory and use them if we need them, but otherwise I can bring them back and massively expand my main saves. Exosuit. I mean, we have plenty of upgrades there to go, so that's kind of nice. And then, last but not least, let's see, what else do we get? We get a reality glitch trail customization. I think that's the kind of like the trail you leave with your starship, right? No idea what that looks like, but you know, it's always good to have some. Okie dokie, let's see, what do we need to do in phase 2? We need to come to a rescue of a stranded life form, and I think we need to do that with some of those charts for the distress signals we just got. We also need to scan some plants. We already did the walking thing. Yeah, I picked those upgrades up already. We need to explore a freighter crash site. I assume we're going to find some of those as well, hopefully, with some of these charts that we have. And then catch 5 uncommon fish from ice worlds. Okay then. And then we need to go to rendezvous 2. Well then, I guess we know what to do. We are going to plot ourselves some routes. Oh look, I can now just summon this wherever I want. At least that's what I think I can do. Anyway, look. We found our first target and we are going to have to help out this distressed person, hopefully. Because that's my mission. And yeah, look, there is actually a distressed person here. Now, what do I need to do? Do we need to just talk to him? I have no idea what you're saying. They're unsteady on their feet with the disoriented manner of someone who has flown for days without rest. Whatever or whoever they were pursuing, it doesn't seem to be nearby. I will offer you some sustenance. Huh. Now he's insulted. That's not what I was going for. It was not the weakness or the hunger that landed them here. It was the weakness of their ship, sure. Okay, so I can investigate the ship. Let's do that. I'm gonna have to repair this thing, aren't I? Only lightly damaged, but its navigation is still actively targeting coordinates in a nearby system. Judging by the movement of the target, it's almost certainly another ship. Perhaps only one hyperdrive jump away. Okay, but it needs fuel, basically. It seems a simple empty tank is the source of all the warriors' frustration. Well, fuel both? Oh, the hyperdrive. Well, let's make some antimatter before we fuel that. We might as well, you know. I assume I can make some. Oh, I need some more chromatic metal for that. Well, that's nothing my own personal refiner can solve. I mean, I don't really know what the fueling both is going to get me other than spending more money or spending more stuff on it, but let's see. The ship is fully prepared to navigate directly to its target coordinates. Let's return to the lifeform to report my success. Where did you go? Oh, you walked all around your ship. That's a thing you can do, I suppose. Yeah, okay, now he's thankful. He gifted me a generous portion of their cargo. Okay. Their ship is strong again. Their target's cowardly fight has come to an end. Bye-bye! Ooh, and we did assist a stranded life form now. So let's see what that gives us. We get the recovered item times 3. We get a supreme movement system upgrade, and we get some multi-tool inventory slots. I don't think we need those, but you know. Yeah, we definitely don't need those now. So let's also decline those and save those up. Then what do we do next? We need to discover some planetary flora. We've been scanning some, well, I've been scanning some stuff already. There's not that many plants on this planet, so this is harder than it looks like. We might have to go to a different planet to do this. So many interesting stuff around though. Always tempted to just go and do that. However, I think we are on a frozen planet, right? Question mark. Well, this is a glacial planet. I assume that counts as frozen as well. So we might need to do some fishing because we have that other quest, which is all the way over here. We need to catch 5 uncommon fish from ice worlds. Well, I found the tiniest piece of water in this planet so far. So yeah, I'm just gonna do some fishing. Well, I was about to say fishing is not my favorite activity, but then I found a message in the bottle, so now I'm curious. Let's see. Unseal. It is day 29 and the weather is set fair. The creatures followed us all night and the bodies glowing like fire. It was beautiful. I hope this journey never ends. That's it? Okay. Well, I'm wondering how many more of these messages there are. Oh man, that took me way longer than I expected, but I think that should be number 5 out of 5, because it's not just about catching uncommon fish on a frost world. No, it needs to be specific uncommon fish that are, well, native only to frost worlds, I think. Anyway, that's that one done. We get a supreme thermal protection upgrade. Yay! Okay, so now all I need to do is find a crashed freighter. Well, that's interesting. This wasn't actually what I was looking for, nor was it mapped, but I think this should be exactly what I'm looking for. Remnants of the Sea of Arida. Okay, well, let's read the log. Let's see if this is actually what we're looking for. Life goes on, day after day, delivering after. I hope to go home soon. The life of a Z is not for one like me. It's interesting now I actually know, thanks to the main quest, what these things are. Anyway, multiple sentinel energies. No, that's not what it says. Multiple sentinel energy signatures detected, requiring immediate dropping out of warp. Yeah, okay, they're going to get themselves killed by the sentinels by the looks of it. Oh, not entirely. Distress signal nearby, broadcasting 16 on repeat. Yeah, we've found a few of those as well. And there we go. So, let me double check. I think that was it for phase 2. No, actually, we need to scan some more plans, but we can do that anywhere. So I'm just going to ignore that for now. So we got a Supreme Scanning System upgrade, Selfish Hyperdrive upgrade, Salvage Fleet. Okay, so that's a whole bunch of stuff that we can use to either upgrade ourselves or sell for more nanites. Well, I think it's pretty safe to say that I want to equip most of these, because these are going to make my fleet more efficient, make it faster, more fuel efficient. It make the hyperdrive more efficient, so all of these are actually pretty useful to employ on my ship. I can always bring them with me. I know there's a limit to how much I can bring with me, but yeah, these are things that I most likely want to go and bring back to my actual main save as well. Oh, speaking of fleets, there's a whole bunch of recruitable frigates over here, but I have a feeling I might not be able to afford these ships. I mean, let's inspect them, but I need a few million units in order to do this, and I don't have those. I mean, I have like 30,000 units only, and that is not going to cut it. But however, since I completed the first phase, I can now also access all of this nice stuff on the anomalies, so let's go and do that. I have quite a few nanites at the moment, almost 3,000 I think. So how much does it cost to get me my multi-tool? That's going to cost me 1,400. And how much for my ship? Because my ship is awesome. Ooh, my ship is actually pretty expensive, but we don't really need the ship, do we? Because we do have freighter and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just gonna go with the multi-tool because I do think that is extremely useful. Let's just copy that in. And that also means I didn't really have to bring all of this stuff. Should probably take it out now because this is actually coming straight from my multi-tool. Do I need to pulse engine upgrade? Probably not. So let's just leave that in. I am gonna grab all of this stuff and bring it back to my freighter. Okay, so I brought everything to my ship and I just realized there's actually a button to harvest all plants, so I don't need my hazmat suits after all. My hazmat gauntlets, I should say. And I think my first expedition is actually ready as well. Now, remember that you actually have to pick that up over here, TDA. Yep, there we go. You have to accept them at T-Guy and then turn them in over here. So let's see. TB Reef Commander. So what did you pick up for me? Hit from attackers. Outran enemy vessels. Operation little to no profit. So this seems like, oh look, we actually made some units over there. Yeah, this was a pretty pointless expedition, but that's probably because we only have a single ship. Now let's see, if I send it back again with all these upgrades that I just installed on my ship, and I'll look at my ship by the way. The freighter over here now has additional expedition efficiency, some expedition speed, and we also made the hyperdrive more efficient with all those upgrades I just installed. So, you know, getting somewhere at least. We are going to have to complete 5 expeditions. That's one of the goals we have. Oh, I can't actually pick this one up. Is it worth sending someone on an expedition if I know they're not going to be very useful for it? I don't know. Is this going to cost me any fuel? It is going to cost me fuel, so that's a bit of a shame. But I'm not entirely sure how the efficiency factors in. But anyway, let's just send it on its way and hopefully it will give us some better rewards next time. Probably not though. So this might sound a little weird, but I actually went back to the freighter crash location because I just realized I didn't loot anything here. And you get a quest, I'm not sure if it is part of the expedition or just a general quest that pops up when you find your first crashed freighter, but it suggested that I looted it. And I'm really happy that I did because I found quite a few valuables in here, at least compared to how much money I currently have. But I also found a salvage frigate module as well as a warp hypercore in here. Now this is going to be useful just warping my spaceship around, but this of course is going to be useful either in this expedition or in my main playthrough. And it's actually super convenient that I can put stuff straight from my exosuit if I want to in my freighter like this, because this pretty much just extends my cargo space, my carrying capacity by whatever size the cargo space of my freighter is. And I am trying to stick as much to the order of the milestones as possible, and considering I just need to scan a couple more plants, I think this planet that I'm looking at now should contain a fair few amount of plants, considering how green it is. And of course, just after I say that I'm trying to stick to the order of the milestones, I did actually look ahead a little bit, and there's a milestone that requires me to chart sectors. So every time I land on a planet, I try to land near anything that allows me to do exactly this, because that is going to speed up the speed at which I can complete this particular expedition. Now, in these places, there's not really that much of interest. I do wonder, actually, do you get to keep the reputation for example, the Viking that I've been getting quite a bit of right now? It's worth checking out, actually. So if I go to... I actually don't know where to look this up. Here we go. So yeah, the standing is reset once you join an expedition by the looks of it, because everything else is at 0. So I'm guessing it's not going to transfer. That's to be expected, fair enough, but would have been nice if that also would have transferred. Let's see, we are going to need to scan some plants, and I was hoping to find quite a few plants here, but is that a plant? I think so, yeah. How many different types of cactuses do we have over here? Hopefully a fair few, because I need like 5 more plants or so. Yeah, I'm gonna be here for a second. And there we go. That was 13 new plants, most of which were actually scanned on this planet. And yeah, there are quite a few different types of cacti around here. Anyway, what does that give us? Because I actually don't know. Oh, this is going to give us the double cultivation chamber plants. I think we actually need to build that later on as well. You get another supreme scanning system upgrade and powerful mining beam upgrades. All of those are going to be very useful, although, no, now I think of it, I actually did bring my mining tools with me, so those are not going to be all that useful. That's a shame. Okay, I went back to my ship, and since I had to go and get some dinner, my expedition got back. And since I got a lot more useful stuff out of that expedition than we did the first time around, look at that, we got some indium, we got some salt, which is, I don't know, not that useful, I guess, but we can always sell it. We got the hypercore, which is really useful. And we got some relatticed arc crystals as well, which are just good for selling. So let's put those on my ship, and then all we need to do is, I guess, go and do some more jumps, because if I'm not mistaken, yeah, we completed everything from phase 2, so let's go and get to the second rendezvous. Now, am I weird for wanting to activate the planetary probe in every single system that we pass through? Actually hoping that I can find some new planets. Looks like Atlas Mine did exactly the same though. But, well, you know, we always get some tiny amount of nanites for discovering things, so it's not completely useless, right? Well, I just landed on the planet with the rendezvous on it, and we just got another milestone completed, the one that requires us to scan those 5 zones. Look at this base, by the way. This is one of the most neat looking, like peaceful looking bases I've seen so far. It's also worth noting that now I have my own scanner with all the upgrades available. Actually, scanning a couple of creatures gives me, as you know, quite a bit of money, so I might be able to buy myself a couple of frigates if I come across any new ones. Oh, interesting note. So apparently if you jump to another system, you no longer have any location where you have that exocraft platform. Even though you have your freighter in the system, you cannot summon the Nomad or whatever you're trying to summon there. So I'm gonna have to rebuild the Nomad Geobay. I do wonder, if I now just keep this on this planet, just like randomly, can I then summon it in the next galaxy? I think I can, just because I actually do own one. Although, wondering if that is actually how that works. I'm not entirely sure. What I am sure about is that it looks like we're going to go to another one of these portal monuments in order to complete the rendezvous milestone. So let's see, this should be the one, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay, rendezvous 2 completed. Now, let's see what it gets us. Hello, can I skip this, please? Thank you. Okay, so this is just gonna give us nanites, quicksilver, and inventory slots. Now, I do think that we actually have something that requires us to get nanites as well. Earn nanites, that is. I think it's later on. This might be enough to actually get that one. Not entirely sure about that. We're going to get some more inventory slots as well. I'm gonna leave once more so we can use those on our main save. And the quicksilver, I guess, is just a nice little bonus. Okay, so we didn't get the other milestone to pop up, but we can collect the phase 2 milestone. This is going to give us a wayward cube plant. I have no idea what those are. So I guess we're about to find out. Let's see. We have the blueprint. Awesome. Is that something I built? Oh, not here, I don't. That's interesting. Well, I guess we'll find out if we actually need to build it. Now, the real question is, what is up next? Because we completed the entire phase 2, so we can start on with phase 3. This is going to allow us to already collect the first one. This is just flying around with your ship, which we did plenty of. This is going to give us the launch auto charger plans. Allow for a slow trickle charge while the ship is not in operation, though. What you're telling me, that is infinite fuel for my ship? As long as I don't, you know, overdo it? That is so awesome. Well, I definitely want this on my ship in my main playthrough. Not entirely sure. I don't know. Can I actually make solar mirrors? I don't know. So let me see. Did I get the upgrades? Just so I can install it? I don't think I did. No. I could probably build it in here, but then I would actually have to go back. But probably just as important, let's check out the other things we need to do. So we need to photograph a range of planetary environments. This is going to give us a decorative base parts set. Okay, that's interesting. And turquoise paint radar customization. Okay, I'm not entirely sure if this will carry over to my main playthrough as well, but in that case, I guess. We also need to actually make that double cultivation chamber that we unlocked earlier. And then we need to destroy a whole bunch of asteroids. Well, that's something we can do. Oh, that's going to give us 5 cargo bulkheads. Okay, that's definitely worth doing. And then we need to complete another expedition. That should take care of itself in along the way. We already have that 3rd expedition sent out. We already completed this one. This is going to give us the Nautilus Advanced Equipment Blueprints. So we can get to do more submarine stuff. Let's just unlock that right now. And I think that was it, right? So we can get all the underwater stuff once more. And then we need to go to the 3rd rendezvous. Okay, well, time to make some pictures. Well, this is probably the most depressing picture I've ever taken. But, you know, does that count for anything? Oh, actually, we need an airless, a frozen, and something else. Hold on. Hello? Hello? Why is my going through the pop-ups not working? Oh, there we go. The scorched, airless, and frozen. Okay, so I hope we have some of those planets in this system. This is overgrown. Decaying nuclear. Is it? But is this airless? I mean, I don't think so, right? Considering there's things living here. This is a forsaken planet. Flora non-existent, fauna absent. Yeah, this doesn't actually tell me whether or not this is an airless planet, but we might as well go there because I think it might be. Now let's see, this is a radioactive planet. This is a paradise planet. This is a barren moon. Well, this one has a blasted atmosphere. So this might actually be harder than I think. Well, I guess while I'm flying in between these planets anyway, might as well start destroying some random asteroids so we can get that part of the quest completed. And there we go, that's another milestone completed. Not necessarily the hardest one, but you know, it's one more down. Okay, so this looks like a properly airless planet, right? Hopefully, maybe? Let's see. Hold on, can I actually make a picture from my ship?
Shield down.
Looks like it. Oh, this is actually not the worst picture ever. There we go. Did that count? The fleet pop-ups are a little bit annoying because they get in the way of the actual quest I'm trying to do. So, let's see. Yeah, indeed, that did count. Okay, now we need a scorched planet or a frozen planet. Well, honestly, none of the other planets in this system seem to be particularly scorched or frozen by the looks of it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go and fly to the next rendezvous point, and then along the way I'm going to check those systems to see if those have any scorched or frozen ones. Okay, so after the first jump I found a planet that has howling blizzards on it, so if that's not frozen, I don't know what is. Would you look at these massive amounts of oxygen and sodium plants? I mean, then sodium especially tends to be a little bit annoying to get by, and finding such a massive amount all just stocked up together, I only have to press a button in order to loot all of that, is just amazing. I mean, even for my main playthrough, I'm happy to bring this back because I'm always running out of sodium somehow, so, you know. I know this has nothing to do with the expedition, but I just wanted to share this little find with you. But more importantly, is this going to be qualifying for the... This doesn't look very frozen, it just has... just has to do with the angle of the light, I guess. Oh, it looks kind of cool. Oh, look at that sunrise. There we go. Okay. I'm not sure why I'm making so much effort for making these pictures, but, you know, might as well enjoy what we're doing. Let's see. So, did that count towards my milestone? Yep, 2 out of 3. So now we need a scorching planet. Oh hey, and to answer my earlier question, I just realized I am in a new system now, and I can actually still call my nomad. So I will never have to build another building again, I guess, in order to be able to use my vehicles in general. That is kind of awesome, to be honest. Just a little bit of quality of life, because there's certainly so much fun in summoning your same things over and over and over. Now, grabbing a whole bunch of storm crystals, yes please. That's not necessarily important for this particular playthrough, I think. I don't think we need them. But at the very least, it's gonna give me a lot of units, and at the worst, I can just bring them back to my main save and use them in there. So, I'm in the next system for the rendezvous, but this actually has a fiery planet, so that sounds like a planet that could potentially be scorched, right? Well, considering there's a firestorm incoming on this planet, I have a feeling that this is going to be just fine when it comes to meeting, yeah, the requirement for the milestone. So there we go. That means we have now an interplanetary hell. Sounds like something completely different. Anyway, we're going to get the decorative base part set. I honestly don't know what we are going to do with that. I assume this doesn't carry over. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it does. I don't know. But anyway, hold on. You would think by now I would know which menu it is. Anyway, let's see. We still need to construct a double cultivation chamber, and we need to wait for the expedition fleet. Well, we don't need to wait for that, but that's what we need, and we are pretty much already at the third rendezvous. So let's go build a double cultivation chamber. Okay, so building the double cultivation chamber is apparently super easy because you don't really need any special materials for that. Now, let me see where I can put them. I'm not entirely sure if we need to think about this too much, honestly, because I don't think I'll be using it. I haven't seen anything that requires me to do anything with plants. This is kind of cool though. You can just walk in here, press this button, and then get all the stuff. Not to mention you have a bunch of carbon in every single one of these places. I mean, look at this. This is just a few hundred carbon, just waiting for you to be clicking on it. Yeah, I mean, that's super convenient. So, what else is there? This all feels a little bit random, but I mean, that's fine. We get a biological expansion plan. Nutrient rooms. Okay, so this is basically just showing you all the stuff that you can build in one of these freighters, I guess. This spacious greenhouse chamber naturally filters and oxygenates the air supply. Offers a little sanctuary of green and freighter habitation. I'm actually just gonna build one of those. I already know what a nutrition room looks like because we have one of those. Now I kind of want to know what this looks like, so there we go. So it's literally just a room with green stuff in it. I mean, it looks good, don't get me wrong, but this doesn't feel like something you should necessarily be building if you can also build one of these, which also has all the green stuff in it, but also, you know, does something useful on top of that. Anyway, it's fine. We've completed that part of the quest, I assume, yeah. And that means we can move on to Rendezvous 3 while the expedition takes care of itself. Oh, speaking of which, the thing just came back, so let's check that out. Let's see if we can get some more useful things out of this. Nope. More nope. We got some units. Oh, we got some pearls. I mean, these are not valuable that much, but still. Okay, this went about as expected, considering I think it was a 3-star quest, and I just sent a single ship out there, so yeah, that was never going to be a big success. But you know, that does mean that we officially, on time, in order, completed this. This is going to give us some more frigate fuel. Fine, a mineral compressor, what's that? Explosive drones and a holographic analyzer. Language, I know the English language, somewhat. I mean, obviously not my first language, but still. Okay, so, oh, these are items. I thought these were gonna be things I could build. Okay, that works. Let me check them out then. They're probably here. Oh, okay, so these are the buff things that we can get for our frigates. This is going to overclock it. I guess it means the thing will be done faster. This is going to be the combat upgrade. And what is this going to be? A mining crew upgrade. Okay, well, not sure what I need them for. That's good to know there's quite a few different things of those in there. And look at that, another portal and another milestone completed. I actually didn't check what we were gonna get for this one, so let me go and do that. So, oh, just nanites, quicksilver, and more inventory slots that we can then decline. So I'm gonna be capping out my inventory slots at this rate on my main save. Anyway, oh man, I have to apologize for going through all these menus like 67 times every time I just want to do one thing. Okay, a fleet commander's cape customization. Okay, I mean, I have a nice cape, but maybe we can get another cape. Okay, let's see. So that was phase 3. Phase 4 is going to be completely different, I think. So let's see, we have enough nanites earned already, so we're going to get some forbidden upgrades for that, which is fine. Don't really need them, but you know. What else? We need to learn some words. We can do that on any station. We do need to construct one of those teleport chambers. Okay. We needed some materials for that I didn't have at that point. We also need to discover an ancient rune. Okay, that is a thing we can do probably. We also need to dig up some stuff, but we already did that. We're going to get some fireworks for that. Yay! So this is basically the Indiana Jones part of the of the campaign. Oh, and we need to discover 8 systems. That's an interesting milestone to have in a thing that like thousands of players are participating in, because it feels like whatever direction I jump into is most likely going to be discovered at this point, right? I mean, I'm pretty late into this expedition to begin with, so well, I guess we'll see, but this worries me slightly that this might be harder than it looks. Anyway, the words, the teleport chamber, I'm gonna go work on the teleport chamber first, because the words seem fairly trivial. How are we going to go about this? How are we specifically going to find an ancient rune? Well, what we could do, we have those star chart map thingies. Some of those, I think, should lead us to like ancient runes, right? Let me check that out. Okay, so in order to build the teleport chamber, I'm gonna need the amino chamber as well, and I don't have the recipe for that. I also don't think we got that as a reward from any quest, so I think... Okay, hold on, what's happening? Captain Notu! Sure, we can repair your ship. Okay, that was random. This is a little random event that I don't think I've had that before. We had a trader, I think, drop on me at some point. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was going to summon the anomaly because I need a recipe for the amino chamber. I'm hoping I can actually buy it here, because otherwise it's going to be quite complex to actually get this. Looks like we're in luck. We can just pick it up right over here. It's going to require metal plating, chlorine, and condensed carbon. Now, I actually don't know if I have chlorine, or at least not the materials for that on my ship, so that's going to be the next challenge. Okay, so in order to make that stuff, I need some salt, which you can actually refine into, well, you know, the other materials that I need to build that teleporter. Took me a moment to find that, and it's also on a pretty hostile planet that keeps chewing away at my armor, but you know, this would have been a lot easier if I just equipped, I guess, the hazard protection module. I didn't actually end up needing any of the nanites that I was going to save up. Well, it's not entirely true. I did sell a couple of those upgrades, but I definitely got a lot more upgrades than I sold. So, you know, that's something worth keeping in mind for the next time. We are kind of tuning this in as we go. Anyway, I got a whole bunch of storm crystals actually during this particular storm. Look at that, 10 of them. How much it was worth? Just 2 million. I know when I was playing earlier on, I was like, 2 million, wow, that's a lot of units. I mean, it's a lot of units for me in this expedition, but in general, it's not that much. It's interesting how that progresses As always in these games, of course, as you continue on. Now, where's my ship? Why is my ship not on my map? That's weird. Did I actually go too far away from my ship? Is that something you can do? Oh no, there it is. Never mind. Phew. Okay, I had to go down to a planet to gather some salt, but now I have my teleport chamber. So let's put that in. Is that going to be automatically powered? Oh yes, it is. This is actually super handy to have. I think I've said that like 10 times now while I've been building this freighter out. So yeah, I definitely need to go back into my main save pretty soon and start to develop my very bare bones freighter at this point. But okay, it's good to know all of these things are in here. I haven't really looked at that too much. Of course, I picked the wrong menu. Let's see. So we now have this done. That is going to give us the what? A technical aesthetic for expanding. Okay, so this is just another looks nice room but doesn't actually do anything. At least that's how I'm reading this. This is going to come with a construction overseer. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, not really something we need, I think, for this particular playthrough, but you know. Okay, so what else do we need to do? Learn some words, discover an ancient ruin, and discover a whole bunch of systems. Well, I guess then it's time to teleport to a station and start learning some words, because I think that's by far the easiest way to learn some words, at least, and we only need to learn 6, so that shouldn't take too long. And there we go, that is that one done. Now, let me see what we get for that. We get some component crafting blueprints. Oh, I should probably have done that one before I went out and bought the blueprint for the amino chamber. Okay, anyway, a little bit of oversight on my side there. Translation technologies. Okay, I don't think any of those are... Okay, yeah, there you go. So the amino chamber recipe was right there. And we can also get a whole bunch of translators that I don't think we need to make in this particular playthrough, so I'm gonna skip that. Now the real question is, how are we going to find an ancient ruin? Now I have a theory about that. I actually don't know how much... Oh, I actually have 24 navigation data. So, an ancient ruin, I think we have charts that will lead us straight to that, right? You can also just purchase random maps, but no. Let's see. The planetary secure site of interest, distress signal, no inhabited outpost, a relic of an ancient civilization. Maybe. Artifact. An ancient ruined site has been marked. Now these ones are a little bit more expensive, but I'm just gonna buy a bunch of them. An alien cartographic data, maybe. I don't know. I'm not actually sure which one of these we need. Definitely don't need the settlement one, and we don't need the exosuit ones. So, you know, let's go and try out some of these. These are going to lead us to an ancient ruin site. So let's do that, and let's fly there. So this is an ancient ruin. Is this gonna count? Is just being here good enough? I actually don't know. Let me check this again. Discover one ancient ruin. Well, that's what we did, right? Hello? I might actually have to go out and click stuff here. How is... Can I learn words here or what? I'm a little confused. I don't think this is one of those. It's right. It's just one of those things with the keys, right? Yeah. That was... Look, they have actual dragons here. Those are really cool. I mean, if those aren't dragons, then I don't know what is. Well, the thing hasn't triggered yet, so maybe we need to open the crate and do that. I mean, it's worth a shot. There we go. Let's open it up. It's not triggering. Hello. Oh, I'm doing something wrong, but it's a little bit confusing because I have no idea what. So why are you triggering? We need to discover an ancient ruin. So it literally said when we arrived, this is an ancient ruin. It also says in the map thingy that we did one of these, an ancient ruin site. I don't know. I'm just gonna try another one and see if that helps. Well, I'm at my second location, and I have a feeling that once I open this up, it's once again not going to trigger the quest reward. I mean, if it was going to do that, it probably should have done that the first time around. I keep finding these random... Oh, this one was actually really cheap compared to the one I found just now. Anyway, I am going to go and try to see if this type of map, which is going to lead me to a relic of an ancient civilization, doesn't quite sound like ancient relic, ancient site, but you know, maybe this works better. This is why I bought it, because I wasn't sure whether or not I needed the one map or the other. This is the less logical one, I'll have to say that, but maybe this time it works. We're going to find out. Okay, so it actually does say this is also an ancient ruin that I'm apparently now flying straight into. Let's see if this works. I'm actually not entirely sure what type of place this is. Is this the one where you can learn some words? I think so. Let's do the clickety-click thing. The ancient marker hums at a frequency that burrows deep into my being, filling me with the voices of the Corvax echoes. Okay, well, I'm just gonna click through this one for now. We already... What's a dosimeter? Well, whatever a dosimeter is. I just saw that one popping up. I don't have a dosimeter, but we do have a quest, I think, that relates to that, which also made me wonder what the dosimeter was. Let me check that out. We don't need any more of those. We also definitely don't need to do this. Anomalous research here. Undertake special research for Nada and Polo. The space anomaly is tracking a pattern in time, a strange signal emitting from across multiple realities. I have no idea what quest this is. It already shows as tier 1 complete. It also says like complete milestones in expedition mode to acquire the dosimeter, but I haven't gotten it yet. So this might be like the final stage or something? Anyway, sorry, getting a little bit sidetracked here. But that did actually complete the Nameless History one. Maybe we'll get the dosimeter here somewhere? I don't know. I don't think so, but you know. Let's complete this. This is going to give us all the underwater stuff and a historical document. Huh. Hold on. Historical documents. Wow. Okay, that's 2 million credits right there. That's interesting. Oh no, my starship is full with all kinds of stuff I should probably be selling at some point. Anyway, so that's a thing. There's another ancient ruin over there. I think that's the one I came from. Then, but if that is the case, why is it still showing up? I don't know. I don't know a lot of things apparently today. What I do know is that we have to somehow find a lot of Uncharted systems. How am I going to do that? Because I don't think, because I'm in the expedition now, I can actually port back to my base. Or any system related to that, because they're just not showing up. They're not registered at the moment. Okay, this is going to be interesting. So I'm just going to go back to my freighter and try a couple of random jumps. And if that doesn't work, we might need to, I don't know, find a black hole. But I also think those are already linked to specific locations. So jumping out through those, if anyone else did that, it's not going to work either. Let's just see how hard it's going to be to find a new Uncharted system. Okay, so random jump number 1. This is going to be very interesting to see if we can actually find undiscovered systems through this. Nope. At least not this one. This one is definitely already discovered. So I'm just gonna try that again and see if this works any better. Nope. 3 times is a charm, maybe? Well, we're about to find out, I suppose. This feels like the Buddy's Hello system. I like that someone apparently took the effort to rename this system, but nope, it has already been discovered. And I'm definitely not being efficient about this, but I'm a little bit stubborn. I kinda just want to see how many jumps I need in order to find the system that no one has clicked on yet. Well, more than 4 times apparently, so let's keep going. So how about this one? Discovered by who? Right, well, let's try that once more. As a side note, I'm definitely not the only one doing it like this, because this system was just discovered 1 week ago. And, well, I assume that some of these other, yeah, all the other ones that I've visited so far has been as well. So it's literally people just jumping randomly all over the place like I am doing now. So I think it's going to be necessary to be a bit smarter about this, because I'm pretty late into the expedition. So if thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people, I actually don't know how many people are playing this expedition still. They have gone before me, then randomly jumping around when everyone needs to explore like 8 new systems is very unlikely to be successful. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna visit my old friend Polo, I think his name is called Polo, and ask him for a black hole. I'm actually just thinking, are these NPCs still here? We did see him, right? Yeah, there he is. Now the real question is he actually going to be able to guide me to a black hole? Yes. Okay, so I am not 100% sure if these are predetermined locations that these black holes jump us to, or if they are in fact completely random, because if they are random, this is going to be the perfect way to get some Uncharted system under our belt. Well, the route to the black hole was definitely discovered already, so I'm hoping this works. I actually don't completely remember how you go through a black hole. Can I just fly straight into it? Yep, that seems to work. I think the last time we went through a black hole, we actually needed to like fly outside, like spacewalk into it. I really like this loading screen, by the way. Okay, so we are in the middle of combat, but what I really want to know is, has someone discovered this system yet? Can you tell me? I mean, we're going to fight some pirates, I suppose, but still, tell me. You're not gonna tell me, are you? Just because we're in combat. Well, this was also discovered 1 week ago. I fear the worst. Well, at least we saved the freighter from pirates. Not entirely sure that's gonna do us any good, but we're about to find out. So, are you going to give me anything? Oh, they want to give me command of their freighter? I'm just gonna check it out. I mean, I don't want your freighter, I don't think, but, you know, it's interesting to see what you have. No, we're not gonna do that. We are going to ask for payment instead, because apparently that is an option. So how much am I gonna get for this? Just a bulkhead? I mean, I'll take a bulkhead, don't get me wrong. And we can also get some gold. Anything else? Nope, that was it. Well then, back to my own ship. Well, it just did another jump, and at least this time around I got into a system that was discovered 2 months ago. So this was definitely pre this expedition at least. I'm not sure if the expeditions are always in the same zone, so I'm not entirely sure this tells me anything particularly useful about whether or not I could use this. But I'm just gonna jump once more. I am actually in a system with another black hole, so, you know, that is something to take into consideration. Now, let's just go into the free explore, pick another random star, and hopefully, this time around, that will be an undiscovered one, because then at least I'm at the outskirts of where people have been playing a lot. Which is interesting, because in my main playthrough, I'm discovering a lot of systems for the first time, but I'm also discovering systems where other people have already been. So as you can tell, isn't working quite as easily as I was hoping it would, but I'll just keep going. Okay, I'm starting to lose count of how many systems I have jumped to so far. As you can see, it's not getting any better. And I looked it up, and it looks like that. What do you call them? Black holes. Sorry, that black holes are actually already predetermined as well. So I'm just gonna see if I. Oh, I already visited this black hole. That's not gonna be any good. Right? Yes, it has a circle around it. So this is the one I came from. So I'm just gonna have to keep jumping around hoping that I get far enough away, which is honestly a little bit of bad design, unless I'm missing something. I mean, please tell me how I'm supposed to do this more efficiently than just randomly jumping around, because the black holes are not working. Okay, seriously, I hope there's a tracker somewhere that is going to track how many systems I jump to, because it's getting a little bit ridiculous, but on the bright side, at least I have something to spend my storm crystals on that I luckily didn't sell yet, because I'm gonna need all these warp cores. Look guys, it happened! I found a system that no one has been to yet. Oh my god, that took way too long. Well, hallelujah, we finally got there. And yeah, that's we finally got there. I think it's worth naming a system after. There we go. I've been literally just numbering them just to make sure I kept track of my progress, because, well, actually, let me check. Can we see? Well, we traveled a lot of light years, but I think most of it's just from going through the black hole. But yeah, we at least got the 8 system mapped. That is not something I want to do every single expedition, that's for sure. What are we going to get for that? Supreme Hyperdrive upgrade. That would have been nice to get that before we jumped like 500 times. And some other stuff that at this point I don't think I really care about. So let me just keep those in stock again, once again, for the main playthrough. And yeah, now we actually need to get back to the route, because we need to go to the 4th rendezvous point. Oh well, at least I have a teleport to go back to where we came from. Okay, so I'm here at, I think it's the 4th rendezvous. Yeah, there we go. I actually have a question for you guys, because I can't decide on this myself. I'm trying to figure out whether or not I actually like these expeditions. Now, I'll explain a little bit about that. So this is a bit of a side rant. So if you're not interested in this, just skip ahead maybe a minute or two or something like that. So I'm just thinking about the structure of this. So the expeditions, what I really like is that you kind of get into a new world. You kind of get to start all over again, but in a much more like streamlined, fast-paced type of experience. There's a sort of a theme to it, it seems, to some extent, which I also kind of like. So it's a really nice way to get to experience some new things. Also get the dopamine hit, I guess, of having to start over and then seeing your fast progress. I also like the milestones, etc. What I am struggling with a little bit is the fact that there seem to be so many kind of random things in here that just seem like busy work. So for example, catching the fish over here, as an extreme example, but also the thing that we just had where we had to find those 8 systems. Okay, maybe that's not the best example, because I actually kind of like this one if it was easier to do. But for example, let's take the fish. Why am I catching fish? I have no idea, other than the fact that it's a milestone. I kind of really like the fact that you needed to do a stranded life form, find a freighter, a couple of the other things like having to walk a certain distance, etc. I think is fine as well. Taking the pictures, but for example, over here, we needed to install a double cultivation chamber. Okay, that's fine. But we didn't actually end up doing anything with that. So I think that's just a missed opportunity. Similarly, I kind of like the fact that we had to complete some fleet expeditions, but then we proceed to do exactly nothing else with our fleets. So, I don't know, maybe collect like 15 frigates or something like that, and then hopefully in a way that's a little bit more streamlined than to have to farm a lot of money. But I guess what I'm saying is that some parts of these expeditions feel kind of disjointed, and it would be more fun if there was kind of underlying story. Maybe it doesn't have to be deep, but kind of like a theme. I really liked in the previous expedition, for example, we had all the underwater stuff that was kind of tied together. So even though there were some random things in there, it felt a little bit more cohesive, if that makes sense. Anyway, a rant over. But yeah, the point is, do I like these expeditions? I like getting the rewards for my main save, that's for sure. But I would have liked them to be a little bit more, yeah, themed, I guess. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think about these expeditions. I'm actually curious to learn that. Meanwhile, we are going to get 1,000 nanites, some quicksilver, and some inventory slots, so that is nice. And then we're going to once again decline this, and we are going to go back to this thing as well. There we go. We got a golden first spawn battle mask customization, so I guess that is something we can equip on our actual character ourselves. That's kind of nice. And that was entire phase 4. So we're getting to the end now. Oh, there isn't. Oh, I was about to say, is there another phase? But no, that phase is just completing phase 5. Okay, so we're going to finally get that historiographical dosimeter, whatever that is going to be, and then we have to do stuff that we don't know yet. So, on to the next rendezvous point. Okay, but I do have to say that some of these quest lines send you to pretty interesting looking planets. I've never seen, for example, any of these flying plants. I realize I'm a fairly new player, so maybe some of you saw every single variation of these creatures and plants already. But it is kind of fun to just explore and every now and then look at something like, wow, okay, that is pretty cool. What I'm a little less enthusiastic about, although, well, it's a bit of a mixed bag, is the fact that there's bases all over the place in these on these planets. But then again, it does show you that you're playing in the world along with other players. So I'm not too fussed about that. But sometimes you can pretty much tell where you're supposed to go by the fact that that's the place where there's like 10 bases. Anyway, doesn't really matter. That gives us a rendezvous point 5, which I think was supposed to give us the dosimeter thingy. Yeah, there we go. And I'm really curious what that is supposed to do. Transmit historiographical readings. Historiographical, is that an actual word? Collect data at alien artifact sites. Purchase planetary charts from a... okay, so we have to do that. Some more of those. So we need to... Oh, I was about to say we need to do a couple of things. I actually don't know what the other things are. So we are going to get some living slime. Yay! As well as some nanites. Okay, well, just double checking, because what type? Collect data at alien artifact sites. So is that... Which one of the two is it? Oh man, we're going to get into the same problem. I mean, this is an artifact chart. And this is distress signal. That's definitely not the one we need. Didn't I buy some more of these charts? Oh, apparently I already used them. Okay, so NADA has detected a new pattern emerging in the stories of the Gek, Corvax, and Vy'keen. Recordings of unusual historical shifts will enable NADA to trace the signal. Okay, this doesn't really tell me much. Do I just keep this thing in my inventory? I guess so. Well, this is an artifact chart. Let's find an artifact site, and hopefully that is the correct type of chart that we need. Okay, so we have another one of these sites. Is this what we need? Is it enough if I just you know, walk in here? Transmit historiographical... collect data. Well, let's dig up the artifact once more and see if that helps. But I have a feeling we once more need to get the other type. Okay, going once, going twice. We can open this up. It's not gonna count, is it? I would be surprised if this does. But you know. New treasure records. Nope, still 0 out of 3. Okay, well, we're going to pick up some of these other charts at the station, and we're going to try again. Okay, so here we are. The fact that the questline itself refers to planetary charts is not helpful at all. We just did an artifact chart, so I guess we're going for the alien cartographic data. Let's just buy 5 of these. How much do these cost again? Yeah, I don't know. We should be fine. We have plenty of stuff to go around. So let's dive down to a planet and see where we get to. Alright, so how about this thing then? Is this gonna count? There's a plaque here. My mind filling with a deadly knowledge of the true history of the Gek. Each foe will submit with a bended knee to the almighty Gek Dominion. We are the first spawn. Oh, look. Look. Oh, wait, actually, I remember now. That's... Okay, this was actually yesterday, I think? By the time you're seeing this, or well, not by the time you're seeing this, but for me at least, yesterday evening we saw that popping up, so, well, that's what we needed to do. Okay, decux flux frequency. Okay, so we have a barrier of some sort in the way. A lost weapon, a found weapon, always there when needed, awaiting its call, awaiting its duty. And now we're getting kind of to a story part, it looks like. Oh, we actually got some quicksilver for that as well. That's kind of cool. I also got TDA of the collective title. We contributed to a collective quest. I mean, the quest was already done, I think. Yeah, it's this one. It was way done already, but yeah, well, it is what it is. So, just double checking. Did that count towards my... Yeah, it did count towards my thingy. So now we need to do that twice more. Luckily, we have plenty of these things to go around. So I'm actually wondering what the next step of this phase will be. And there we have another one. And I'm actually wondering if there is a tiny little story in here. The terrible beginnings of the Gek have been absorbed by this strange stone, and their tail seems to be desperate to escape. All who hear our words know of our might, but those who oppose us are broken to our will. Behold the power of the Gek first spawn. Galaxies lie at our feet. We are eternal. There we go. Historiographical. That's a nice word for some word games. Anyway, barrier failure detected. Decoding flux frequency. That's a lot of 16s. Can we? Oh, we can't actually pick the other options when we do this. I mean, that's why we're here. Don't get me wrong. Just figured, well, maybe we can get to do some of the other stuff as well. Oh well, I'm back to the ship and let's go for round number 3. Okay, so let's see if we actually get some sort of story. So it's all about the first spawn. Now actually I do wonder, because the quest itself was referring to all 3 races, if we would have been on a different planet, we get a different story. I mean, we did get the mask from the Gek first spawn thingy, so... And like I said, there is some sort of a theme here. It's just a little bit... splattered all across the expedition milestones, I guess. Anyway, each foe will be crushed, only the Gek will remain. Let's take another measurement. We once again get the barrier failure. Each iteration, every cycle, the pattern repeats. The patterns repeat. New patterns emerge. Okie dokie. Well, that was a 3 out of 3, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. So now the real question becomes... Well, first of all, what do we get for this? Because I didn't check. Oh, so just some nanites and living slime. Okay, that's not super interesting. But what's the next step? Acquire the myth beacon. Okay. Submit dosimeter readings to trace the source.
Thermal protection falling.
Okay, I'm a little confused now. What is it that we are actually supposed to do? Submit historical data. We've done that. Now that detecting a novel... Yeah. Select the anomalous research mission from the log to help produce a definitive map of these anomalies. Yes, which is probably used to configure the myth beacon. The myth, not the meat beacon, the myth beacon. And once this work is complete, acquire a myth beacon from the Quicksilver Synthesis companion aboard the Space Anomaly. Okay, so I guess we're supposed to get that thing here. Collect expedition rewards. Nope. It's not the one we needed. So create exotic items maybe? There we go, the myth beacon. I've actually seen this thing in the main playthrough as well. Okay, so we are buying this, I guess. Now what? Well, that was a fairly easy milestone. What do we do with it? So let's see. We just get some goop and nanites for that. I mean, 3 nanites, pretty much. Now what? Deploy the myth beacon. Okay. How do we do that? I guess we need to go down to a planet and just put it down somewhere. I mean, is it in my inventory? Yes. Oh, we can just deploy it like so. I don't think that did anything. Oh man, some of these quests is like half the quest is figuring out what you're supposed to do. But I think this is probably not working because I am in the anomaly. So let's fly out and then let's try that again. It might even be enough to literally just fly out. So hold on. See, can I activate it from over here? Well, that didn't do anything, so we are going to go down to the planet and try it once more. Okay, so we're here on the planet. It didn't work from out of orbit, so I am really hoping this does work, because otherwise I'm kind of running out of ideas on how to use this. That did exactly nothing. Once again, what am I missing? We acquired a thing. Just, it says exactly nothing. Oh, wait, hold on. We detected a renegade pattern emerging in the stories. Okay, the collective effort has produced a definitive map of these historical anomalies. Deploy the myth beacon and track this renegade echo. Select other milestones. Oh, hold on. In space, consult the galaxy map to locate the echo source. Okay. Maybe it did do something? Not super clear, I have to say, but... And we are definitely not going to fight a pirate if we don't have to. Interesting. When I went down on the planet, there was also a warning, but that one had a 300,000 units reward. This one has a 252. So either it's the same pirate and he just got downgraded. Is that like the worst thing that can happen to you if you're a pirate? That your bounty just gets lowered because you are not that threatening after all? I don't know. Anyway, sorry, getting off track again. Let's go find that echo. Huh, interesting. So the system that we're apparently going to is called Move Along. I'm really wondering if that is a system named by Hello Games themselves or by a player that wanted to be funny. Also, if you hear a dog barking in my background, he has been going for like 3 hours now. Not sure whose dog that is, but it's getting on my nerves quite a bit. Well, a question answered. So this system was actually discovered by a player. So bonus points for being funny about that. We are going to have to go off planet, well, off radar, I suppose, in order to get to our final destination. Okay, completely on camera. Okay, sorry. Once again, bonus points to this player for actually having some creativity in their names. What I wanted to say is that the planets in this game, I really love that they have completely different sizes. In a lot of like space games, pretty much every planet is just the same size. Or it's just like when you look at the map, they might have different sizes, but they don't actually in the game themselves. It's just the same thing all over again. Okay. Sorry, just looking at these names here. Anyway, but in this game, like, some planets are massive, some planets are tiny, and I'm loving every minute of it. Okay, why is this planet filled with mines? At least that's what it looks like. A little bit disconcerting. So we have... This is probably not where we need to go. That definitely looks like somewhere we need to go. Also, there's a lot of communication stations around it, so I'm gonna guess this huge-ass portal is where we are supposed to land. Now, if only my ship would actually want to land. This ship, I don't know what it is, but it seems to have trouble finding appropriate landing sites. So I was actually expecting something like this to be the last part. What do we do here, by the way? I mean, this is the thing we needed to visit. And how did we interact with it? Missing something obvious, probably. Oh, we need to deploy the myth beacon once more. Okay, now we actually need to use it. Okay. There we go. Yes? Yes. Nice. Did this thing react to that at all? Don't think it did. Maybe it wasn't never supposed to, but okay. Let's see. So we are going to get some more molds. There we go. And some more nanites. It feels like this... Oh, hello. What's that? Ooh, hello. I know what you are. It has summoned a mysterious starship. Return to your ship and follow the signal. Okay, there we go. The SSV Normandy. That is so awesome. Is it going to be Fem Shep or the Middle Shepherd? Is it even going to be Shepherd? That's the real question. There's a historiographical flux spike detected. Okay. The call was made. The call was answered. The weapon is yours for Paragon or Renegade intent. Paragon all the way. Anyway, let's see. The historiographical flux is subsiding. Ah, no cameo. Ooh, communication link has been established. Let's link up. Ooh, it's an S-class. If I can port this over one-to-one to my main playthrough, it's actually going to be my best ship. Ah, there it goes off. Okay, well, that was only a tiny cameo, but still very, very cool nonetheless. I mean, I'm a big Mass Effect fan. I've played all the games. Yeah, I even really liked the new one. Kind of sad that it kind of got review bombed to oblivion. But you know, anyway, that's a different topic altogether. Let's get some more nanites, some more fluids as well. And then I think there's only a couple of things left to do. So we're going to get the expedition vehicle plans. We're going to get the banner customization. All stuff I don't really care about. But what I do care about is if we go to the final phase, we should now be able to collect the title Renegade and Paragon. Oh, that's kind of cool as well. And we are also going to get that ship, I believe. There we go. Congratulations, traveler. The expedition is complete. Return to the space anomaly. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we are now going to have to put some stuff in our inventory to bring it back. But this was... the ending, at least, was pretty awesome. Before I end it, I definitely want to check out the extractor core. Oh, look at that. It actually collected the full 350 chromatic metal while I was sleeping last night, I guess. But having a couple of these things on your ship is just free materials. That's kind of nice. We're also going to grab some of the stuff we collected along the way, or that we actually brought into this gameplay to begin with. I am nowhere near going to be able to bring all of this stuff back, though, so that is... that's actually something I need to consider for a moment, because I think I brought more stuff here than I can actually bring back, because I am using a lot of these slots for upgrades. It's also something to consider for future runs, to be honest, because that is a limiting factor for sure. Oh man, a rookie mistake. So I was getting the last few things for my freighter, and I was like, oh, I don't need to forget these upgrades. I need to bring them with me because they're quite useful. Of course, then one of the things I unplugged was the matter beam package that allowed me to, you know, get things from my freighter. So yeah. Now I actually need to go back to my freighter in order to pick those last few things up. Okie dokie, there we go. So we got a whole bunch of nice upgrades for the freighter. I got a huge amount of stuff that I can use to upgrade my ship, my freighter, my inventory space with. Look at that. That's 20 slots of exosuit expansion units just from this single expedition. That's pretty much going to top me out, I think, in terms of what the actual maximum is. I'm gonna bring back a whole lot of my stuff. So these are not really gains from this particular expedition. A lot of this stuff I brought with me. But the 10 storm crystals are going to be quite nice. Let's see what we end up with once we actually end it. So yes, I do wish to continue. We're going to get a whole bunch of units as well, I think. Honestly, these are not massive amounts. 46 systems visited. Oh, that's a lot of discoveries made that we got nanites for, actually. So the scanning room on my ship was a long way towards that. Oh, if I would have recruited some more frigates, I wish I had known this in advance, because I could have just bought a few with the money I ended up with in the end. That would have been a massive amount of nanites on top of what I'm already getting. So we're going to get all of these rewards as well. And there we go. So we get 20 million units, which is nice, but 18,000 nanites. I think that's the real gain, along with some quicksilver. So we're gonna go back to the main game. I hope you enjoyed this little run through of the expedition. And if you're still here, of course, you are awesome, and I hope to catch you in the next one.